Today we're going to talk about some social skills that are really important. They are knowing your feelings, understanding the feelings of others, and responding to feelings of others. We're going to talk about those skills today, and then we're going to role play them. Can you guys tell me, why do you think it's important to even have these skills?
Yeah. Well, you have feelings yourself, so you have to be able to recognize your feelings and be able to explain how you're feeling, and also for another individual to be able to understand the way you feel. Yeah, that's what the other people be able to respond back to you with proper criticism.
Right. Okay. Why would that be important now? Why do I even need to know?
Because if we can't recognize it, who else can?
Okay, we can. Who else can? Gotcha.
We deal with our emotions and our feelings on a day-to-day basis, so it's pertinent that we learn how to deal with them and understand everything.
Absolutely. You have feelings every single day. It's important for you to be able to recognize those feelings and express them appropriately and respond to other people's feelings. One of the things that we recognize as being in recovery or being an addict is that we didn't always deal with our feelings well, right? Our relationships were not the best because we did not deal with our feelings, nor did we respond to the feelings of others. So this is a social skill that will help you not only in your personal relationships, but it will also help you when you get back out there and you start job seeking. So that's really important for us to kind of get that skill together. So let's talk about knowing your feelings. Because somebody read to me the skills for knowing your feelings. Yes, sir.
Number one, tune into what is going on inside your body. That helps you know what you are feeling. Number two, decide what happened to make you feel that way. Number three, decide what you would call that feeling.
Now, are those all thinking or are those actions? All thinking.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So remember that when we're doing our role play, if it's a thought,
Thanks.
use your thinkers. Remember, you don't always have to do that. If you want to do this, you do that. Okay, so we're using our thinkers. Is that all the skills to knowing your feelings?
Yes.
Okay. What's the next one we said?
Understanding the feelings.
Understanding the feelings of others. If somebody could read that, yes.
Number one, watch the other person. Number two, listen to what the person is saying. Number three, figure out what the person might be feeling. Number four, think about ways to show you understand what he or she is feeling. And number five, decide on the best way to do it.
Again, the question is, are those all thinking or is there some action in there?
Some action.
There is some action. Which ones are the thinking?
1 through 5. 1 through 4.
1 through 4.
Yes.
Yep, 1 through 4. So when we're doing 1 through 4, and actually even 5, because when you're deciding, you're still thinking. So those all are thought.
Number 5 could be like thinking action.
Yeah.
Could be a thinking or an action, so once you decide, you can do it. Okay. So we always have our thinkers on. Again, what's our next skill?
So responding to the feelings of others.
Responding to the feelings of others. Could you read that word?
Step 1, observe the other person's words and actions. Step 2, decide what the other person might be feeling and how strong the feelings are. Step 3, decide whether it would be helpful to let the other person know you understand his or her feelings. Step 4, tell the other person in a warm and sincere manner how you think he or she is feeling.
Awesome. Again, which one's their thoughts?
1 through 3.
1 through 3. You sure?
There's 1 is an action, 4 is an action.
Yeah, you know what? That number 1 is always kind of that area where we go, is it a thought or is it an action?
Yeah.
It's actually kind of both, because obviously you're using your brain when you're sitting there and you're observing someone. So that part you could also have your thinkers up, but just understand that you also are doing something. But so you want to keep your thinkers up, but you don't want to just kind of like this, just for the sake of role play, right? Why do we have role play?
Practice change.
To practice. Yep. Practice what?
The skills.
The skills. We gotta practice the skills. We talk about it all right now. Let's see what we do with the skill. We have some people that are willing to do role plays. Is that correct?
Yes.
Awesome. You guys ready?
Yes.
Okay, do you want to take center stage? How you want to do this? You want to bring your chairs in? I mean, it's up to you. You want to sit down? Okay, so before they start, we should have some people who are going to observe the role play. You're going to observe which,
Lesson 11.
okay, and that is,
Understanding the feelings of others.
okay, so you're observing a lesson 11. You,
Lesson 12, responding to the feeling of others.
awesome, okay,
Lesson 10, knowing your feelings.
okay, gotcha.
Lesson 10, knowing your feelings.
Lesson 10, knowing your feelings, okay, great.
11, understanding the feelings of others.
Okay, you're going to observe understanding the feelings of others, is that what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna do lesson 12, responding to the feelings of others.
Gotcha. So, once they start their role play, once they're finished, you guys make sure you give them some feedback, and then I'll make a few comments myself as whatever I see there. Okay? You ready?
3, 2, 1, action.
You already know. Chilling, man. Rubbing some irons. Stressing, man. I know y'all been out a week ahead of me, man. I just got out yesterday, man. As soon as I went home, man, she started nagging me, man, talking about the bills. I got telephone bills, mortgage bills, child support bills. The kids need this, that, and the other. I'm like, man, I just got out, man. Where's all this coming from? You know, we supposed to be celebrating, chilling, happy that I came home.
Right.
I gotta go through this again, man. I don't even know what to do, man. One, tune into what is going on inside your body that helps you know what you are feeling. Right now, I'm feeling angry, upset, frustrated, a little disappointed because I got to go home and deal with all this nagging. And I just got out of this program, you know. I thought a relationship that'd make our relationship a little stronger, but obviously it didn't. Number 2, decide what happened to make you feel that way. Once again, I gotta go home and put up with all these bills, man. I ain't helping my wife out at home, so she kind of pissed off at me, man. Decide what you could call that feeling. Hurt, upset, distraught, confused, frustrated.
Understanding the feelings of others. I watched him. He was pacing back and forth. Seemed like he was kind of nervous about being out. 2, listen to what the person was saying. He was saying he was stressed. You know, he has got all these bills. He just got out. That, you know, he's got his wife nagging, and his kid needs diapers and food, and he don't know what to do. Number 3, figure out what the person might be feeling. He could be feeling upset, angry, disappointed, frustrated, confused. Think about ways to show and understand what he or she is feeling. You know, I kind of felt the same way when I got out, so I can kind of relate to the way he feels. You know, my girlfriend was nagging at me and told me I had a week to get a job or I was gone and back on the streets again. Decided the best way to do it. Watching, I see where you're coming from, but you also got to realize just because you were locked up for 6 months in treatment, will don't stop. You know, these bills keep going and they stack up. So you got to get back out there and do what's right, and you know, do for you and your family, and make sure that you're doing right. You're not going back to the same things you were doing before, because otherwise you're gonna be in here again. They're gonna stack up. And it's just gonna keep getting worse and worse and worse on you.
Thanks for understanding my feelings.
Skill 3, responding to the feelings of others. Observe the person's words and actions. He was telling me that he was frustrated, he was disappointed, and just getting out of River City. Bills need to be paid, kids need clothes, need food, the wife's complaining. Decide, step 2, decide what the other person might be feeling and how strong the feelings are. You might be feeling a little overwhelmed, a little disappointed, distraught, frustrated, a little angry. His feeling is real strong because, the way he voiced the situation to me was real strong because he wants to provide for his family. He can't find a job at this particular point in time. He's doing everything he can. Step 3, decide whether it will be helpful to let the other person know you understand his or her feeling. I understand your feeling because I'm in basically the same situation. I'm just getting out of River City myself, and my bills need to be paid. Fiance needs rent, telephone, you need food. You got grandkids that need things, so I understand where you're coming from. Step 4, tell the other person in a warm and sincere manner how you think he or she is feeling. I understand, you know, you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed because the situation is just getting out, bills need to be paid, everything's piling up real fast for you. You know, I understand you might be feeling a little frustrated and disappointed that you can't do the things that you normally would be doing. You know, you got to keep moving on, man, and keep pressing on. Don't give up, man. We'll find a job to take care of the situation.
That's good feedback, man. I needed that, man.
All right, let me hear what y'all have to say. What kind of feedback do we have? I'm glad that that was good. I want, yeah. Who wants to go first?
We're going to 1 to 10.
Lesson 10, know your feelings, give
Uh-huh.
feedback to Mr. Washington.
Uh-huh.
When I observe, make sure you tell me you have problems with bills, with child support, cable bills, house bills, and that your lady's getting on you, and not helping out with bills, and you do something. Really, I would say, man, when you get out, just put that dedication, go out trying to find a job, and eventually everything will fall through for you. You know that.
I'm sorry. What you want to give him feedback on is not necessarily the situation. You want to give him feedback on how he used that skill. So how did he do on that?
I think you did good. You pretty much covered all the bases on it. Detail, how you felt, what the problem was. I think you did a good job.
Okay, all right. I'm going to come back and comment on that. Was there somebody else with you? Yes.
Just tune into what is going on in your body that helps you know what you're feeling. His topic was sounding real sincere because he was using a lot of hand gestures to get his point across. It says, decide what happened to make you feel that way. He felt a little nervous because he just came out of River City and he was wondering why I could, doing this program and coming home to society with all of these obstacles facing his path is kind of confusing him right now.
Okay.
It says, decide what you could call the feeling. He said he was confused, nervous, and a little angry.
Yeah. Ken, thank you for saying that. What I want to comment on, yeah, you did an awesome job talking about the situation, but what happened was you started naming all these feelings, right? And then even when it got time to say them, you had some different feelings from the first time you were thinking. Be careful with that, because when you put all that in a bowl, so to speak, what could happen is your response is a lot more intense than what you intended. What you want to begin to practice is think of what's overwhelming the most. What is the most overwhelming feeling that you were having? Disappointment or frustration? Anger or fear? So whatever that feeling is that's most overwhelming, that's what you want to identify. When you also look at the tune in to what your body is saying, you should be saying to yourself, oh man, I got a headache, or my temples are throbbing, or I'm sweating. What is physically going on with you that lets you know that those are those feelings that you're having? Okay? So good job on that. It's really important that you begin to recognize those physical cues and connect them to the actual feeling that is happening with that. Physical cue, feeling. Okay? Good job, good job. Pause again. Who had the next cue? Yeah.
Understanding the feelings of others.
Now, who did that? Who had that role? That's okay.
I think he did pretty good because as far as like him sharing the feeling that he had is because he's in the same situation too. So I think that he brought that type of information to him on the basis of, okay, yeah, I understand what you're going through, man, because I just got out of River City and I was going through the same thing. So that's pretty much that's pretty important when you're sharing that type of feeling with somebody that's going through the same thing that you're going through. And I also seen and understanding the feelings of others is that you were very compassionate with them as well, because you were showing that, listen, you're not the only one that's going through it too. So you did that pretty good as well too.
Okay. Is anybody else observing this skill?
Yeah, I mean, I concur with everything you said. You basically took the thing right out of my mouth that was going to tell you.
Okay, awesome.
Critique it, say what I critique it.
Okay. Can I give you also some more feedback on that piece? When it talks about number 3, Read that to me.
Figure out what the person
Figure out what the other person might be feeling.
How in the world do you figure out, because he threw out all those things?
Yeah.
It's okay to say, well, wait, he said he's frustrated, but he looking like he's nervous, and You want to kind of decipher that, and it's okay at that point to say, well, man, are you nervous? Are you upset? Are you scared? You know, to get some clarification. The exact final step. Read that.
Last one is decide on the best way to do it.
You want to think to yourself several different ways on how to say say something to that person. The reason why you want to do that is because if somebody's angry, you might not want to say, yo man, yeah, that's right. You should go ahead and do, because now you might be escalating.
Yeah.
You might decide to say, wow, that's really tough, and leave it at that. Or you might want to give some advice. So think of some different ways to respond to what this person is feeling in order to show yourself compassionate. Okay? So good job again. Applause, applause, applause. Last but not least. Yep.
I seen that Aaron did respond to the feelings of others, and what I saw is that he observed really well. He knew exactly what the person was saying. He kind of elaborated on how strong his feelings were, and and how why he might be feeling that way, and then he decided whether it'd be helpful to give the other person, to understand the other person's feelings, and Aaron elaborated really well on that. He showed that it's hard to go through something like that, and that you can there's ways to make it through that kind of thing, and then. He actually showed, like Mr. Mallory said, his compassion. He did it very sincerely and warmly, showed him that, you're not the only one going through this. All you got to do is push forward and try and find a job and, try to make it after leaving this kind of place.
Okay. Thank you very much. One thought I had. Awesome job. When I hear the word, he's showing him. When you show something, you should be able to see it.
Yeah.
So really what was happening, you all were doing a lot of telling. I'm telling you that I understand. Right? Explaining. One of the things I want you to be aware of, that there is a difference between showing and telling. And if the skill requires you to show somebody you understand, what does that mean?
You have to show them by your action.
And how would you show somebody you understand?
You have to basically be doing what you're living up to the advice that you give them.
Not that deep. Don't get that deep. What?
Like with him, he's struggling to get a job, or he's like struggling about not finding a job. Maybe you could take him out somewhere and try to help him find a job or give him a ride or something.
Gotcha. That's how you would help him. But how would you show him that you understand how he's feeling?
By showing him that you're going through the same thing.
What's this? Just not yet. You might smile, yeah. That's a simple, quick, easy way to show somebody that you are understanding what they're saying. Okay, you don't have to be all big and fix it. Just sometimes it's okay just to listen and nod your head and say, okay, I'm with you, I understand. Okay?
Starting out explaining his feelings, that's exactly what I was doing. Just nodding and giving a little comment.
Right.
Nodding, so that you know that I was paying attention and understanding what he was saying.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to bring this group to a close. But next week, when we get back together, we're going to talk about preparing for a stressful conversation. Make sure you take care of all your homework that you have. Please practice the skill outside of this group so that you can continue to build on what it is we did today. Okay? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.